Well, good morning, Officer Pereira.
Oh, hey, I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, welcome to your first day on the Raccoon City Police Force.
I'm ready to protect and serve this great city.
We're very excited to have you here. I know you thought it was a small town, but if you watch the intro video, we have high-rise skyscrapers. We're a very big city.
It's beautiful. The marketing materials have been on point.
It's a very beautiful city.
And will forever be so, I'm sure.
I know it's your first day here.
Yeah.
I just want you to get away the land. You think, I can't do this voice that long. You can make a pot of coffee.
Yeah, of course.
For the fellow cadets.
Absolutely, whatever you need.
Okay, has someone shown you around the building yet?
Not really, just the big entry hall and then here.
All right, so the kitchen's upstairs.
Okay, cool.
So-
I'll head out right now.
No, so to get to the kitchen, what you're gonna need you to do,
Okay.
you're gonna go out this door to the west.
Okay, to
Okay.
the west.
You're gonna go down the hall,
Okay.
second door on the right.
Should I be writing this down?
No, you don't even, no, this is real simple. It's real simple.
Okay.
You'll know it by heart real soon.
Okay.
Okay. You go down this hall, second door on the right. You're gonna enter a locker room.
Okay.
Okay. It's got some electric lockers in there with some stuff we keep handy, nearby.
Okay, and the coffee's near there?
No. What you gotta do is you're gonna want to punch in 0206.
0206, okay.
It's simple because it's gonna unlock locker 206.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, I think I got it.
Sometimes all the buttons aren't there. You might have to find one, but it's not a big deal.
Okay.
Don't worry about that yet, okay?
Okay.
You're going to go into locker 206. You're going to find a key. Key's going to have a spade on it. You know what a spade looks like, son?
A spade, that's like a diamond, right?
No, son. A spade is a type of shovel, sir. Okay? It looks like a shovel.
Oh, yes, sir. Okay.
Okay. So you're gonna get this key with the spade on it. You're gonna come back.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
You're going to go up these stairs behind me.
Right, the stairs.
Now there's a door on the west. It's
Yeah,
got
I
a
think I
spade,
saw that door.
the spade on the door.
That's what that's for. Okay.
Yeah, you're going to go in the spade door. Okay? Go in that door.
Yeah.
And then go downstairs.
Okay.
Then you're going to want to move the bookshelf over about 12 centimeters.
Why?
No, it's simple. Don't worry about it. Second door on the right, intellect locker 206, spade key on the door on the west.
Upstairs, downstairs,
Yeah.
and then through
Move the bookshelf.
move the bookshelf.
Double back up those stairs. Cross the bookshelf.
Gotcha.
Through that spade door. Son, have you ever used C4 before?
No, but I have a feeling about to find out.
What's up, everybody? This is the Tech Yeah Gaming Podcast. This is episode 4.
It's episode 4. Believe it or not, that was actually that's not a true story. That was us doing a bit.
No, that was real.
Yeah, it was real. I was trying to throw them off our scent.
No, that's for real. That's really
documentary style.
That's really real.
You got to be a fly on the wall.
Yeah. But yeah, episode 4.
Episode 4.
We're gonna kick into some Valentine's Day talk.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
I'm looking forward to it too. But first and foremost, Leo,
Yes, sir.
how's your week been? What have you been playing?
It's been good. I said this again last week. I finally am done playing Resident Evil 4. I finished Leon.
Even Resident Evil 2.
I'm sorry, Resident Evil 2. There's a lot of similarities
Yeah,
there.
no, I hear you. I know what you're saying. But
You're right, Resident Evil 2. I finally finished, unlocked the rocket launcher, finished for survivor mode, and finally done. So I've been talking about that game ever since we started. People probably think I've never played anything else, but I think I'm finally done.
That's why I wanted to do the Resident Evil bit in the beginning because
Yeah, I figured.
it's kind of been a theme for us.
Totally.
Like, the entire run of our show,
Mm-hmm.
we've been talking about Resident Evil.
Yep. Not anymore.
So
now
I
it's
thought-
done. Now we will never, ever talk about Resident Evil again
I
until
gotta-
the DLC comes out next
Now I got to
month.
think of an Apex Legends bit because
That would be a lot harder.
that's all I've been playing is Apex Legends.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we can get into that, but have you been playing anything else?
I'm trying to think if I played anything other than Apex
I've been
Legends.
playing a lot of Apex Legends as well, in addition to Resident
It's
Evil.
so good. Like, I don't want to talk about it too long today
Yeah, I
because
agree.
we talked about it literally like all of last show.
Yeah.
But it's great.
Yeah, I agree.
And I'm getting pretty good at it. I've gotten maybe like a dozen wins, maybe 15 wins.
Wow,
or
that's
something.
serious. What level are you? Do you know?
Like 30.
Damn, yeah. So you're one of those guys when I get paired with, I'm like, damn it, they're gonna make fun of me.
No, I'm actually. I'm
They're gonna
surprisingly
teabag me.
I'm surprisingly friendly in that game.
Yeah.
Like,
Are you not normally? I've never really played with you competitively.
I wouldn't say I'm not normally friendly, but I think I can be a bit cold at times in competitive games, right? Like I'm just not trying to like chit chat and say what's up, dudes and stuff. But I get a lot of like positive like hey man, what's going on? So it's like it really encourages kind of some friendly banter.
Do you think that's the game? Do you think there is some design choice that encourages that, or do you think it's like the way it looks, or is it just a coincidence?
I think it's just fun.
It is just so fun that people can't help but be like joyful.
Yeah, I think people are just having a good time.
Yeah, no,
You know what I mean?
That's definitely a good sign.
Yeah. So I've been playing a lot of that. I'm glad I've been pulling some wins. I was watching that Twitch Rivals today.
Yeah, I didn't see it, but I was hearing about it.
It's actually still going right now.
Oh.
Just so you guys know, it's Tuesday. We're recording early because Leo has to travel. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was watching some Twitch Rivals, and it was pretty exciting. Like, it's pretty interesting.
I bet. Super high level play.
Yeah, I don't like the way they do these BR formats, which is the same thing with like Fortnite they did, and where it's actually like pros queuing into online games.
Instead of like a sort of sequestered.
Yeah, and so you get like 1 point per kill and 5 points per win. And they basically churn through as many games as they can in a given time period.
Yeah, that's where it's like speed dating.
Yeah, and so a lot of times it's 3 pros, and what they'll do is they'll jump in and then they'll split at the start and try and mop up as much of the map as they can.
So that sucks if you're
and they
you're on that map.
Well, because the problem is if they stick together, they kill a lot of people really fast.
Yeah.
But when you get to the final couple groups, if you've beat the other teams too fast, then the final groups can just hide out, and you just have to wait for them, right? Because it's hard to find people that aren't trying to be found.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, absolutely.
So they all just split up and just go searching, right?
Start massacring everyone.
Yeah. And so it's interesting. It's fun to watch. I mean, it moves so fast.
Who's playing?
So it's from what I can see, it seems like every big streamer kind of has a team, right? So there's a Choco Taco team, there's a Dr. Disrespect team, there's a Shroud team, there's a Ninja team. Ninja's getting totally carried.
Is he?
Yeah, he's not very
That's
good.
funny. I'm kind of glad, like, nothing against Ninja, whatever, but it'd be kind of funny if he was super good at this too.
It's amazing to see how much, I mean, Shroud was always huge, but he is exploding in this game.
So who's the best, do you think, of like the big streamers that people would recognize?
I mean, probably of the huge ones, probably Shroud.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, he's so good. Like Choco Taco is really good. Viz is a guy that plays with Dr. Disrespect a lot. He's really good. He plays for TSM. But Shroud, like, when I logged in and watched his stream earlier during the tournament, he had 200,000 people watching.
Wow.
Yeah, crazy.
Those are big numbers.
Huge numbers.
Trying to get there.
Yeah, we're almost there.
We're getting there.
Yeah, we're like,
we should have Shroud on. You know him, right?
I'll talk to him.
Okay, send him an email.
Yeah, I'll send him an email. But yeah, so I've been playing a lot of that. It's a great game. I mean,
it is fun.
I don't want to get too involved in it, but
no, I will say I've been playing a little bit here and there. I actually have been playing on PlayStation 4 just to see the differences. Been playing on PlayStation 4, and it was pretty amazing the difference. Like, obviously, it's going to look better on PC, duh. But I think for some games that are clearly optimized really well, you can't always tell a huge difference. Mm-hmm. But it was pretty amazing just how profoundly different it looked. It still played fine, like nothing against the console version of it. It's still cool, free game. If that's the only way you can play it, it's still going to be fun as hell, and the controls are really good. They're mapped well. But it was fascinating. Like, there's way more texture pop in. The frame rate's lower, like obvious stuff, but it's a stark contrast. So if you ever go back, it's pretty hard to go back.
Yeah, pop-in seemed to be the biggest complaint on console.
Mm-hmm.
You got to remember, it's on like a modified source engine.
Totally.
So, I think more modern engines are a little bit better equipped to deal with the limits of current-gen consoles.
Absolutely.
Where the source engine is ultimately a PC engine.
Yeah, it's really optimized for that.
And it really wants to take advantage of all the video memory you can give it. Those consoles aren't famous for their video memory.
No, they're not.
But
again, to be clear, like it still played great. It was still super fun. And if that's more accessible for people, hey, that's great.
No, it is. It's super good. And, my only concern, the only thing I'll say about it going forward is I just hope that they can get with a cadence with the skin releases and store updates that kind of matches what Fortnite's been able to do. Because as much as I don't buy all the Fortnite skins and stuff, there is something exciting about logging in to see like what's new. Like, even if you're just waiting for that one skin, like that's gonna like carry you away. It's like you want to check that store all the time. It's only been a week. It's really early for me to be like critical of their model.
It is funny. We keep forgetting that. I know you've played it a lot, but it's only been out for like a week.
And so it's really hard to be critical of that model. But I do hope that they have to be aware that like they're gonna need to be updating those stores twice a week and adding new skins. And like we said last week, I'm sure they have a huge backlog already made, and they're doing something for Valentine's Day, I believe. I hope so. They're releasing a skin. I think maybe I don't remember who, or if that's even been confirmed. But yeah. So that's cool. Yeah, that is cool. Sorry, that's exciting. I'm looking up game releases. I forgot to pull the list before we started. But well, it sounds like this isn't new, but it sounds like Battlefield 5
It's finally getting a battle royale just in time to take the world by storm.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what that.
I'm sure it's just I can't believe how colossally they screwed that up.
Yeah, it's shocking. Like,
and now it couldn't be coming out at a worse time.
Yeah,
it couldn't be. There's no worse time for it to come out than like right after this game.
It's hard to imagine like that thing doing anything for them. Yeah. I mean, EA, I was just having this conversation with some friends that are in PR, and I was just like, do you guys know what's going on with EA?
Yeah.
Like if they told me anything, I wouldn't be sharing it. But like friend to friend, do you have any like insight, you know? And they're like
just what the hell?
And they're kind of like, oh, well, what do you mean? Because, they're not like super into it. But it's like, just like this cadence of like Battlefield 5 doing terrible, Anthem really having a poor showing in the demos.
Yeah.
And then this game coming out being amazing and having Respawn kind of distancing themselves from EA the whole time and kind of qualifying like that. I know EA's involved, but it's not going to suck, we promise.
Yeah. And so you want to hear from your company.
Yeah, and then now Anthem's about to drop.
Yeah.
I am very concerned for BioWare's sake.
Me too.
And what is going to happen with this game. I think it'll have marginal retail success, like 5, 6, 7 million copies, like something like Battlefield did, right? Yeah. But not Destiny success.
No.
And it's just like, what is like what's the plan there? Like, what, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think this was the fact that they went with Apex. I think Polygon actually had a really good article about this where they talked about how Apex is going to affect Anthem. Like, its success is great. Obviously, it's great for EA. It's really great for Respawn. But this could be really damaging for Anthem. I mean, there's a lot of crossover. I know it's not a battle royale, but it is like a sci-fi shooter. They're not the same game, but they're clearly like in the same sort of space. And it is odd, no pun intended, but it is odd that like it's a very odd way to release it.
Yeah, the thing that really surprises me is it's odd because Anthem did so poorly.
Yeah, well,
if people were hungry for Anthem, none of this would matter.
Yeah, you think so? Even so, it'd be odd just because they are similar.
It's
in a lot
odd,
of ways.
but
it's a similar demographic.
Yeah, I just feel like if the response wasn't so tepid for Anthem, then I could see like if like people were just like, I don't give a shit. Like, I gotta play Anthem. Like,
can't wait, man. Can't wait for tomorrow.
I mean, when Destiny was coming out, and people were just like pumped for Destiny, and the trailers were really good. It didn't matter what came. I mean, they could have released Halo 6 the week before. I don't even know what Halo they're on right now. They could have, you know what I mean?
6.
They could have released it the week before, and people still would have played the shit out of Destiny because people were so excited for Destiny.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where Anthem, for one, I feel like it's kind of. I feel like all these persistent online games are kind of victims of Destiny's failings in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it is funny how they're kind of all tied to it.
And people are very skeptical now. Like all of that excitement that Destiny generated resulted in all the skepticism all these other games need to face.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know necessarily that any of this would matter if people were really like if Anthem looked like it was going to deliver on the promises.
Yeah. No,
right?
absolutely. And then, even more so, like the aesthetic comparisons to Destiny certainly don't help with, like, of course they're going to compare Anthem to Destiny. There's no way not to.
Yeah. All right, so let's look at new releases. I'm trying to, like, be a little
structured.
Yeah, last time we really got into the Apex mud.
Yeah. There's other games to talk about.
There's other games to talk about.
I guess.
So new releases, these are things that are just about to come out. On the 15th, Crackdown 3 comes out.
Yeah, we were just talking about that. We were like, we need to review this, I guess. And then we're like, I don't know if we do. Like, I don't know if they're sending out codes. Like, I'm deeply concerned for this game.
Do you need to review it?
I don't know. I mean, the fact no one's talked about or sent out any codes is like, as far as we know. Or maybe they have, but it seems like they're just trying to get it off their release schedule and be like, okay, anyway, Crackdown 3 is out. So anyway, guess what else we got coming soon?
I mean,
but I could be wrong.
Talk about another publisher that is like really a mystery to me. And I know like people like Microsoft right now, and I get it. Like I like Microsoft too in a lot of what they say.
Yeah.
But man, they can't figure out how to make a game.
Yeah.
You know,
it is fascinating, isn't it?
It's so weird. Like
especially when Sony's just like, we'll buy really talented developers and then let them do whatever they want.
Sony can't miss. Like I can't think of a bad first party release
in a long time.
For Sony, and I can't think of a of a Xbox first party release that's nailed it since I don't even know what, like Halo 3. You know what I mean? That's kind of being
well, again, it's not really the space I like to play in, really, in terms of I've never been a huge Halo fan. I don't really care about racing. People always talk about Forza, which apparently is great, and that's just I don't feel qualified to talk about it.
I like Forza games. I just think that genre is so much smaller now than it used to be.
Yeah, I think you're right.
It's not Gran Turismo era.
I guess maybe Gears of War, but there's a new one of those coming. But people aren't talking about it really.
No.
It was a cool trailer, but
yeah.
But I'm not. I don't think anyone's. It's not like God of War where everyone's like, whoa.
Well, and even that, like Gears of War is going to be another cover shooter, right?
Yeah, and it'll be on PC.
Yeah, and God of War, like, that's what I mean. Sony's so genius. Like, they really reworked the paradigm and like created something cool. Like Spider-Man is super cool. Horizon Zero Dawn was like all these games come out and you're just like, wow, these
Persona 5 was so awesome.
Yeah, all these games and you're like, wow, these are great games.
Yeah, and they're very different.
Yeah, and so different. And you look at what Microsoft's offering and it's like what year is this?
It feels like it's all the 360 again.
Yeah,
it does.
It feels like just
which maybe that they kind of won that console war. Maybe that's why. Maybe they think like, well, we'll just keep doing what we did back then. When we sold so many Xboxes, but it's like, no, it's not really. The world's changed.
The world has changed, and it's it's funny. It's I feel like people are like, oh, next console generation, it's going to be the Xbox generation, because Sony is definitely like high on their own supply. They're definitely full of hubris right now.
Oh yeah, which they always do this.
Yeah,
Sony does this every time they win. They get really excited, and then they kind of screw up a little bit.
But I'll be honest, they can say whatever they want if they keep making this level of games.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, man,
like
I can't help it.
There's no stopping them. If this is the type of content that they're willing to pay to put out, then who cares? They can do whatever they want. They can be as big. I mean, people want to act like Nintendo's like the people's company now.
Yeah,
but no. The only reason they reach these heights at all is because they were the asshole company that made awesome first-party games forever.
They still are.
Like, from the NES all the way till current.
Yeah, they've always been very litigious, like super draconian in terms of protecting IP and their own stuff. Like, they're not...
Even like
they're about the bottom line. They're just happen to making... they know their key to their success is making kick-ass, hyper-polished games that are amazing.
Even when they forced everyone to buy carts and, stopped companies from making third-party carts.
Remember you get those Squaresoft?
Yeah, remember you get those, black carts for NES, Shinobi and all them were on those black market, third-party carts that Nintendo threw a fit about. It was they've always been anti-consumer.
Yeah, in some ways,
In some ways. And I'm not saying that to May. I love Nintendo.
Yeah, so do I.
But, it's like if you're making the hits, it doesn't matter. I mean, I think I said it a couple weeks ago. My friend's like, oh, Xbox Gold or Xbox Pass for $1. And
it's a great deal, but there's nothing I want to play.
Yeah, who cares? They could give it to me for free. I still wouldn't download the game.
Yeah. I don't have an Xbox,
Yeah.
I remember not too long ago, I saw one on sale. It was Xbox One S or something. It was on sale for $150. And I was like, there's no reason not to buy this. And even though it was so cheap, I was like, what would I buy for it?
What would I use it for?
And what would I buy for it I couldn't play on PC?
Yeah, I mean, I use
Halo remade or whatever. That's it. That's the only game.
I rarely use my PS4.
Yeah,
but even then, I use it because I know I really want to play the first party games when they come out. So
same with the Switch. You're not going to play Wolfenstein 2 on the Switch, but you're going to play Mario Odyssey or Breath of the Wild.
Horizon comes out and Spider-Man comes out and God of War comes out. I got to play those, so I play them on my PS4. I have it for those, but in general, my normal day-to-day gaming time isn't spent on a PS4 or a Switch.
Yeah, same. I mean, it was for a while because Resident Evil 2, I just happened to get the code for that. So, but I honestly wish I had it on PC. Right. I feel like it would have been easier.
Let's keep moving to these releases. How to Train Your Dragon.
Oh, I'm really, real excited about that one.
Shut up. Far Cry New Dawn. That actually looks pretty good.
It could be interesting. Blood Dragon was amazing. So
I don't know if it's $40. I think at release.
Yeah, I don't know how big it is though. It's probably I'm thinking 15 hours or something.
Should be interesting.
The concept's interesting. Yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to it. Did you play Far Cry 5?
No.
Yeah, I played a little bit and didn't love the way they. It was fun to play and it looked amazing, but the way they told the story was so irritating and.
Yeah, it looked like a shooter to me.
It's very much a shooter.
But
it is fun. There's
the last shooter I played was the New Colossus.
Yeah, that game's awesome.
And Yeah, it's a shooter, but it does so many interesting things. With the shooting.
It's very unique
and visually does so many things.
And then the narrative is so cool.
I remember we were on stream the first time I played it,
Yeah.
and when that power armor charges at you on the airship thing, and we just like jumped out of our seats, like oh my god, like it was incredible.
Great villain.
Yeah, great villain. Yeah, it's a good game. Metro Exodus, February 15th.
Yeah,
that's a game that is interesting.
Right.
I haven't heard a lot about it.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's on the Epic Store. So
and ray tracing's a port,
and
supposedly.
Yeah.
Which as far as I know, still hasn't even come to Shadow of the Tomb Raider. But that's something for you and Bill to discuss.
That's something for us to discuss, I guess. But there haven't been a lot of news about it, and I know people like those previous games.
Have you played those?
No.
I played the first one a fair amount. It's cool. It never quite connected with me the way it did with a lot of people. But I think part of it's because it was a small studio and they made a really polished, like cool, scary game.
And I know they're like the biggest books in Russia.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The Metro series.
Is The Witcher the biggest books in Poland?
Oh, I'm sure.
Do they have any other
I'm
books?
sure it has to be. No, there's no other books in Poland.
That
It's
sucks.
the only book in Poland. Sucks to be Polish. Civ 6 Gathering Storm expansion.
Yeah. Do you play Civ?
Cool. I sort of play Civ. I have Civ.
Yeah. It was one of those things where I'm like, do I have any Civ games? I had like 5.
I have
all 5 of them.
I've played Civ 6.
It's that humble bundle.
Yeah.
That's how they get you.
Yeah. And it's fun. It's just I never finished the games.
Yeah, I think that's how most people feel. Like, this is cool, but I don't know if I have 15 hours to play one game.
Yeah, like I get like 6 hours into a campaign, and then I'm like, and then I stop playing, and then I reinstall it, and I get 6 hours into a campaign, and I'm like,
Yeah.
Like you see it kind of going downhill. You're like, oh, I'm getting out teched everywhere. Like
as soon as you start losing, you pull the plug.
Yeah.
I know that feeling.
Code Realize, this looks like some PS4 anime shit. Jump Force, that's definitely some anime shit, but it looks exciting.
If you like Shonen Jump, I think it's probably cool. I don't really, so
that's out today. So
it's not for me.
You can play that right now.
It's not out today.
It says February 12th right here.
No, that can't be right. I don't know if I can talk about why, but that can't be right.
Oh,
otherwise I did something really wrong today.
That can't.
But anyway,
Leo's my insider, so that can't be right. Blame Metacritic if for me being wrong. Anytime I'm wrong,
it's Metacritic.
It's Metacritic.
Even if we're talking about something totally different.
Yeah, you're talking. Yeah, I'm gonna say that this all is thanks to Jason Diaz and Metacritic.
Sorry, Mr. Diaz.
No, I need to reference the author if I'm going to look at these things, right?
True.
That's important.
That's a good point.
So now's a perfect time when we get a wrong release date for me to mention the author.
Yeah.
God Eater 3 recently came out.
So that's like an anime Monster Hunter kind of thing.
It looks kind of cool. I don't think I'm going to play it, but I played the Vita ones and liked them. So
really? That's cool.
I could see picking it up on sale or something when it's cheaper, but I don't think I'd pay $60 for a God Eater game. Monster Supercross, Yokai Watch. Let's find things that matter. Apex Legends came out earlier.
What's that? I haven't heard about that.
Yeah, we didn't talk about it then. What else?
I don't know if I asked you this already, but did you play the Division beta?
No.
It's cool. You know, it's funny. I played it for a while, and then I reinstalled the original, and I actually been playing that last week. And I forgot how it's kind of fun because it really is. It's just Diablo.
Yeah, a lot of people
cool modern reskinning. Like it's mindless. It's not super great in a lot of ways, but it's really pretty fun and compelling. Just that loop and it looks great still.
Yeah, the loop pinata is nice too. The way the loot falls out. It's like Destiny where it just shoots out of people like there's yellows falling out of him.
I think the controls are good too. Like the way the cover system works.
It's a good cover
way
shooter,
better than Gears or like I don't know. I guess I didn't play that much when it came out, but I'm really enjoying it. So I'm kind of actually really looking forward to the second one now.
All right. So our coming soons.
Yeah.
Anthem, 22nd.
Yep. Should be playing that pretty soon, hopefully.
Some anime games. Steins Gate.
Wait.
Elite. Steins Gate Elite. February 19th.
Did you make this game?
No. You don't know what Steins Gate is?
No, actually I don't.
It's an anime about time travel.
I don't know a lot about anime.
Obviously.
Wow.
DOA 5 comes out March 1st.
Still making those, huh?
Wow, Trials Rising is finally coming out February 26th. I feel like I've been seeing that game in like early access and preview copies on sites.
Yeah.
For
200 years.
200 years.
Since computers were invented.
Lego Movie 2 video game, Dirt Rally 2, Outward. These are all late February, so I don't think anybody cares. DOA 5 is in March.
DOA 5.
That's new releases.
seems like it's just dry.
Yeah, it is really dry.
But I guess that's not really true. It's all there. Everything's just dropping at the same time.
Yeah, that's fair. None of I say dry, and it's like Anthem's coming out.
Yeah,
a new DL game is not the biggest deal, but it is for some people in the fighting community a big game.
Is it?
Yeah, people like DOA. I don't know why. I know
why.
Why?
Maybe I'm wrong.
Titties.
I mean, that would be my first thought. Maybe that's reductive, but
that's very reductive.
But it's also no. I played
powerful independent women.
No, it's not. I play. It just doesn't. It's not as good.
It's not. It's
not as good as like its competition.
It's a bad feeling fighting game.
Yeah, exactly. It feels slow and not like cool and methodical slow like Virtual Fighter or like.
It feels like the worst Tekken.
Yeah, it feels like a bad cross between Virtual Fighter and Tekken with neither of the good thing.
Yeah,
and it looks cool and the arenas are cool, but like, and then obviously there's it's not good.
It's so funny where Tekken has this like spammy like combo chain, bounce off the wall combat that's similar to DOA's.
Yeah.
Tekken's feels fair in a way that DOA's
absolutely
feels random and uncontrolled. It feels like you're getting button mashed to death a lot in DOA. Or like
I remember sometimes people level that claim at Mortal Kombat that it's super combo heavy. I think they've gone really far out of their way to address that, and that's not really true anymore. But I love Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Well, and NetherRealms does cool things with their games that makes them so much more. Like visually interesting.
Yeah.
So it kind of takes away a lot of that like it's cool anyway.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like,
yeah, absolutely. You're right. And then the emphasis on single player content I think is really underutilized in fighting games. For someone like me who will play online a little bit, but I really want to play Mortal Kombat, I absolutely love that they give you so much single player content.
Yeah.
And like what they did with Injustice 2 is so cool.
I think what Tekken does as well and what Mortal Kombat does is like having these like slowdown scenes. Like, you know, Tekken has like the final hit slow-mo or like
Mortal Kombat has all the bones breaking.
Yeah, it has like the X-ray ones and stuff. It kind of pulls you out long enough that you're kind of like, you get to kind of reset with like when the cool stuff happens.
Yeah, and it's fun.
Yeah.
Just, that look of like, oh, did you see that fatality?
Yeah, it is fun. Those are good games.
I love those games. And the fact that the dude's been making them for 30 years is pretty intense. Can you imagine making one franchise for 30 years?
I feel like I've been making emails for 30 years.
I don't think that's true.
I don't either, but that's a little inside baseball. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. I got a little
hiccup.
Got a little emotional there. But I got emotional because this is the Valentine's Day episode.
It is, correct.
And we're going to talk about...
We should... Hold on. Let me dim the lights. Light up this candle.
Ooh.
Smells good, right? Vanilla.
It does.
Vanilla bark.
Smells. Is there cinnamon in that?
A little bit, yeah. I made them myself for this day.
Really nice.
So yeah. So now the lights are low. I think we should talk a little bit about romance and games and love.
So the first thing I want to talk about.
Yeah.
Who's the best couple in video games? I have a short list. I looked up some to kind of give us some inspiration. But do any come to your mind immediately?
So it's funny you bring this up because we didn't discuss this until a few hours ago. But this morning I was thinking about it, and I was thinking about couples, and the first thing that came to mind is like the old ones, like Mario and Peach, all the sort of simple ones. And then I started thinking about the way kind of love and partnership is portrayed in games, and it kind of struck me how poorly it's been portrayed, how it's almost never portrayed in anything that's even remotely realistic. I'm sure there's examples where I'm wrong, and I was just thinking like it's always defined by loss or lust. Like I was thinking like, oh, Kratos had a wife, but that's always about like they have to die in order to justify their existence.
Yeah, even like The Witcher,
The Witcher's
a sex maniac. Like he's
the worst protagonist.
Fuck everybody.
Yeah, which is fine. It's like Mass Effect, but it's just so lame. But one thing that did come to my mind, and a scene that I always stuck with me, was in Uncharted 4, where they're together and they're playing Crash Bandicoot, which by itself was awesome. That scene really showed kind of a sense of intimacy and sort of regularity. They're both beautiful and superhuman, but in that moment, they're just in their like okay house. It's not a mansion, and they're just chilling, talking. It's awkward a little bit, and then and then he lies to her and leaves, so he's kind of an asshole. But I remember that very clearly. Like, I've never really seen this sense of intimacy before.
I think in a lot of ways, Elena kind of exemplifies like, like an ideal mate. She's too good for Nathan Drake. She
puts up with his shenanigans.
In some ways is too giving and, and it's funny because in that game you really like strain that relationship so much.
In a way that I feel like could have been easily avoided, but whatever.
Yeah, it's definitely like, like I think that's kind of what's disappointing, but kind of what's great about Elena is like in some ways you're like, just like fuck that guy. Like get away from him. He sucks, Like he's doing all this stuff. His brother's a piece of shit.
Yeah, he really is. And he tries so hard to make it, but at the end of the day, you're like, no, he's still fucking sucks.
And like, like he's putting you through the ringer to support this brother that does not deserve anyone's love. Right. But then at the same time, like she comes through, you know what I mean? Like she's still supportive. She's angry, but loving. And it's like, like she's like, shows you why she's the best of them. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. In a way that's not fair to her, but is also very charming.
Yeah, I agree with that. But that to me is the only, and I'm sure I could think of others if I'd given more thought. But to me, that scene really clearly identified sort of an intimacy that I never see in games.
So this is going to sound silly, but a recent game that I thought was very touching and felt actually very intimate because this relationship was very kind of ambiguous.
Yeah.
But also very kind of touching and sweet.
Yeah.
Is Link and Zelda in Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, I could see
that.
Right?
Like,
absolutely.
I feel like in the other games in that series, they still have kind of an ambiguous relationship, but it's very much like princess and
especially in the early
hero,
ones.
Right? Where I feel like when they do the memories in Breath of the Wild, like, they're very sweet. Zelda is very capable, insecure, but very capable.
Yeah.
And ultimately the more powerful one of the two.
Yeah, as usual.
But those moments between the two of them where they go places and he's kind of this silent, difficult to deal with hero, and she is just this like hopeful,
and
scared. Like, it's funny because I've been talking about Into the Spider-Verse so much.
Yeah.
And in that, Zelda in that game reminds me a lot of Miles Morales and Into the Spider-Verse.
Interesting.
I don't know if you've seen. You haven't
I haven't
seen it.
said I really want to,
but just kind of that fear of being put into this heroic role.
Yeah.
And
without having any say in it.
And I feel like the thing that both of those things do well is that emotional vulnerability that's created by that fear.
I agree.
I think a lot of times heroes are made and they seem scared, but there's never like it's never like it never seems to touch their heart. It's this very logical surface level fear of like, can I physically do this? And I think Zelda's fear and Spider-Man or Miles Morales' fear is like, can I emotionally deal with the consequences of this? Right? Like, and
what does that even mean?
Yeah. What does that mean? Am I emotionally capable of like processing the things that are happening and losing people that are important to me?
Yeah.
Because that's ultimately harder, right? If you've ever,
that's what love's all about.
We've all lost people, right? We've all loved people and lost things that were important to us.
Yeah.
And that kind of pain is so affecting, right? And
it really is.
And to see Zelda kind of struggle through that and her dad be an asshole about it, it's like, you can see how scary that is.
Yeah.
Right?
How much of that, I agree, that's an interesting point. And they've always had kind of in this game, it almost felt like sort of a brother-sister thing. Mm-hmm. In terms of like, it is very ambiguous. How much of that ambiguity do you think is because there's hardly any dialogue in that game? Which is cool. I love that fact that there's like almost no talking, to the point where when people do talk, you're like, oh my God, I forgot there's like voice actors.
Yeah, it's funny.
Which is cool. The other question too for you is, did you play it in Japanese?
Yeah, I did.
So I wonder if that made any difference too in terms of like how they communicated. Because in that case, correct me if I'm wrong, you can kind of apply your own sensibility to their intonation and what they're saying.
In a sense. I mean, I still think you kind of hear the emotion, but you hear the emotion in their voices, yeah, for sure. Right? And Link doesn't talk.
Yeah, he doesn't.
As usual.
He doesn't do a lot of talking. The day they make him talk is the day I'm going to be very upset.
Yeah, for sure. But I think there's an ambiguity in that where even if it is kind of brotherly and sisterly, it's still like, it's still very much like a loving relationship.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
I totally agree.
There's still very like a respect and
admiration.
Admiration, but and
like intimacy for sure. Like the way, not just like physically close, but yeah, the way they communicate. Because you do kind of get the impression, hey, it's just me and you in this crazy ass world of ours.
And when you beat that game, I can't even remember. Like, do you remember now? What did she say? Something like, do you remember now? Or
something like that.
Something like that. And like that was like a very touching moment for me when I first beat that game. I was like, wow, like that's like you know, it's the story of a world in peril, right? But it's also the story of two people trying to accomplish a task over generations and hundreds of years, and trying
really being burdened with responsibility,
and really being burdened with it for so long, and kind of finding a resolution and finding kind of peace in it at the end. And
that's a really interesting point. I've always sort of bristled when people say that. I guess Nintendo makes games for kids, which of course they do. But I always felt the Zelda franchise, while it's so colorful and it goes to some dark places, but I don't just mean like, oh, there was blood when you stabbed Ganon in the face. But they've always touched on things like that are a little more adult in a lot of ways in terms of just complexity of emotion and in terms of like, it's hard to put your finger on it because if I showed you a screenshot, you'd be like, yeah, it's colorful, it looks he's a kid or whatever. But when you really play it and you're invested in it, there's a level of complexity. And like Majora's Mask is a great example of a game that it's not just dark because there's scary stuff in it, though there is. It's like just an overwhelming sense of like doom and dread that's awesome and is, I would say, very adult in terms of the complexity of how it's executed.
I mean, I can remember even Link to the Past.
Yeah.
When I used to play that game a lot, like when you really, because that was like my game, like you know,
for me it was Link's Awakening.
I played the other Zeldas, but like Link to the Past was so much a part of my life, and I can remember when you kind of get towards the end part of that game, it's very heavy and it's very like, especially as a kid at that time, like it was a lot to deal with the first time I played through that game. Totally. You know, like it's a very heavy, very dark game.
Yeah, and that's what I mean by adult. Not like sex and blood, but like very sophisticated emotional resonance.
Yeah, and I mean, especially like when they got into like Majora's, that was clearly not
a crazy game.
A child's game.
I played a lot of Link's Awakening growing up. That was probably the first game I really got into, and that also, like, I don't know if you played Link's Awakening, but the whole thing with the dream, and if it's a dream, everyone disappears. It's really cool stuff.
All right, here's
what else you got?
Some other ones on here. So I think this series kind of leaned into romance like super hard after one of the games. That's the Final Fantasy series.
Oh yeah,
right. So I think 7, Cloud and Aerith. Yeah. And then Cloud and Tifa.
So I always thought Cloud and Tifa was kind of cooler because like that scene where they're just chilling, sitting when they're kids.
Yeah.
And there wasn't romantic, but that to me was like, oh, that's cool. That was very loving. And then again, when they're older, they're almost like brother and sister. But that always seemed much more compelling and intriguing than. Like, I think because Aerith is basically just Zooey Deschanel. Like who gives a
Well, and she's just not around very long.
Yeah, she does leave of her own accord.
There's kind of this. I always felt like, I understand like that, Aerith is at that point being set up to be kind of the love interest with the flowers and everything and
cool
the symbolism and the music, right? But I felt like Cloud and Tifa's relationship was
a little more complex
and was the one that was the more touching relationship.
Yeah, exactly.
As sad as it was to see Aerith leave of her own accord,
she got that job in New York.
And, and to have the whole game kind of being about resolving that situation.
But again, that to me is an example of like, she basically existed so she could die to make Cloud more tragic. Which is like, I'm kind of over that trope,
I agree.
But, I don't know. Final Fantasy to me, like we were talking about last week, it was very engaging when I was young and because everything's so sort of black and white. But as I've gotten older, it's still fun. I like it, but it's not really... Like Yuna and Titus and 10, I remember being pretty invested in that by the end, but I think a lot of that was just because the music was so good and the CGI was so good. It's not like if I read the script, I'd be like, wow, this is brilliant writing.
It's funny, like I don't think I ever got super emotional playing a Final Fantasy game. Maybe 7 when I was little.
Yeah, I definitely did when I was little.
But then I went to the Distant Worlds concert in San Francisco. And I was bawling for like large, you know what I mean?
Insane. The music is so good.
Like they play the video of Yuna doing the dance on the water,
and they play all
the music live, and I'm just like bawling, and I'm like, I didn't even like 10, you know what I mean? And I'm just like crying over there.
That's what they're good at, and there's something wrong with that. It's just they've never been the most sophisticated, or like Squall and
I hate Renoa.
Oh, that was brutal.
And I hate Squall. I think Renoa is a fine character.
Yeah, Squall sucks.
Squall
he's just the worst. He's just
so
such a loser, idiot, asshole.
He's such an asshole.
I like the way he's dressed though. When I was young, I was like, "That's a cool outfit." He's got
like
belts,
cool bomber jacket with a bunch of belts.
It's not cool now,
but leather pants.
You get a little glimpse into my childhood.
All right, what else do I got here? So this one was kind of random.
Okay, I like that.
Gordon and Alex, Gordon Freeman.
Oh, that's an interesting one. I
never really thought of them as romantic.
Yeah, well, it's not necessarily about romance; it's love, right?
I know, but I don't know. Like I guess I've always seen Gordon Freeman. I mean, I guess this is why I've never really been that into Half-Life. Like I've played them, I thought they were fine, but I always thought of Gordon Freeman as more of like just this sort of surrogate character.
Yeah, he's a vessel for the player,
right? Not not a personality.
Absolutely,
character, right? So
even like Link has a personality for sure.
Yes.
But you see him in the third person.
So when I read this on the list, I was like, "Is that a thing?" Like I don't remember that being a thing.
No, I think it's anytime they get close, intimate because of all the things they went through. But it's not like maybe they kiss at one point, but that was certainly not in my memory of it.
Yeah, I remember Alex being charming. Like I remember liking her as a character,
and the facial animation was really ahead of its time.
I just don't remember being like, they're a good couple.
I'm so happy for them. Can't wait till they settle down and have babies.
So this one is more of a tragic romance. I don't even know if you'd call them a couple.
Yeah,
because we never see them together. Wander and Mono, Shadow of the Colossus.
So it's funny you bring that up because I was thinking of Ico or however you pronounce it. Because those two, to me, that's a perfect example of what I was talking about before, where they just exist to be like, I guess not so much in Ico or Ico, I can never remember how to pronounce it, but that sense of like that she's so mysterious and just tragic, and he's so tragic because he's defined by her tragedy. It's sort of like. I guess I'm just a little over that trope, and Japan leans on it pretty heavy, and so do we for sure. But like I love the atmosphere of that game, and again the music. I love the dark tone is awesome. I love tragedy, but I don't find it like I find it a little eye rolling sometimes. Like another tragic man defined by the loss of a woman whose character didn't exist except to make him sad.
And that Shakespearean romance, that like the tragedy.
The older I get, the more I'm like, this is like some teenage like.
Yeah, like that angsty, tragic. It's very much overplayed and doesn't really pull on my heartstrings.
Exactly.
That's what's funny to me. Like when I talked about Zelda, and I'm like, that's so much more intimate to me.
Yeah, and adult in a lot.
And
of ways.
Adult, and it's very subtle.
Yeah.
And then you look at things like Shadow of the Colossus, and it's so like
which is beautiful in its own way, but it's not because of the narrative.
It's really so on the nose. Yeah. It's like carrying her dead body in, and it's like, you
or
do
like Final Fantasy.
Yeah, and you kind of sacrifice the world for her, and then it's like, is that what romance is? Because I don't.
Yeah, and I'm not sure that's really the message we need to be like telling young boys and girls. You know what's interesting to bring this up, and I just thought about this. We talked about Persona earlier. Have you played Persona? You played Persona 4.
I haven't played 5, no.
But you played 4.
Yeah.
So that's a cool example of like, it's a lot of anime bullshit in that game. But to me, I'm not a huge fan of anime games necessarily, unless they're good.
Yeah.
I absolutely adored Persona 4 and 5. I haven't gotten through 3 yet. But the reason being is because you can choose who you want to pursue. And some of those relationships are remarkably well written. Some of them are not.
It's always Chie.
No, so exactly. That's a perfect example. Like, she to me was like pretty lame.
I love Chie, bro.
That's what's cool.
How dare you?
This is why I think she's fine. Like, I like her as a character, but
dare you?
She was like, she was so petulant and obnoxious. But anyway, this is the point.
She was going through some shit. All right.
Yeah, so was everyone else.
She was the OG.
She was dope. She was the one I used all the time because she was so powerful. But anyway, this is the
point.
She's
the OG, bro.
The fact that people get attached and will defend their character choices to the grave is really indicative of not just like, oh, they're hot, because they're not really.
No, they're not like over sexual.
They're not, and even the ones who are, like, that's not really the focus. But there are some cool, like in Persona 5, which I know you haven't played a lot, so I won't get too in depth.
I know some of the characters from the anime.
There's like some. Oh yeah, okay. There's some interesting, like, you can like date your teacher, but it's not as simple as like you just date your teacher. You like really dive deep into like how messed up her life is, and there's these interesting revelations, and there's like actual consequences to the choices you make, and none of it's not like BioWare where it's like you give them enough gifts and they'll sleep with you. It's way more complicated than that, and they're like, you're still playing a teenager, so there's some weird implications there, but there is some complexity in those relationships, even after being translated from Japanese, that really struck true in terms of it does occasionally come across stuff that feels very real, despite the crazy universe.
It's funny, like, I think that something I think that's kind of clear from talking about it is these relationships either need to be clearly defined or completely undefined. Yeah. I feel like when they're, like, you know, Drake and Elena makes sense because it's like they're married, they're a couple.
They've been together.
We've known them the whole time. Persona 5, it's like you build these relationships, you create these relationship ties, you see them grow, and they're linked.
Yeah.
Or very ambiguous, like Zelda and Link.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When they're kind of these, like, when the romance is obvious but not like Final Fantasy romance.
Yeah, where it's like obvious but it's not really subtle. There's no subtlety whatsoever.
Yeah, it cheapens, I think, the experience. Yeah. It feels very true to human experience.
Yeah. Which to be fair, like if that's something you're going for, like I would argue Shadow of the Lost Colossus is not trying to make you feel sad for his loss as much as it is like, hey, it's tragedy, right? That's kind of the story for which we're trying to tell the template and the mood. So it's not that you have to tell a complex love story relationship to make it be good game. It's just if you are really going to try and explore that and make you feel like you're understanding it, I think as we get older, our standards have gotten a lot higher.
Yeah, and I think honestly, like I think if you asked, I think it's actually called Team Eco, the people that made Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah.
I think if you asked them, they wouldn't say that.
Yeah, they'd be like, that's not at all
that they were trying to develop a romance, right?
Which is totally fair.
I think it's something that
it's a backdrop.
Third-party lists and people that write these things, want to embrace that tragic romance. Yeah. You know, that didn't really exist, right? It is clearly just a backdrop, a mechanism.
Yeah, it's a tonal. It's a
tonal mechanism
exactly
to show you why someone is willing to. Yeah. Fight the gods.
Totally. And it works. It works in that way. Or like Kratos, again, is a great example in the new God of War, especially the new one. It's tragic and he's defined my loss, but that's critical, and that's not what the game's about.
Yeah.
It's about the relationship with the son. And like obviously the mother's a part of that, and it's well done. I think the way they explore her backstory as the game goes on.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Like I think they did a really good job because they weren't trying to make it about like, look at how sweet Kratos is with his beautiful wife.
And I think the reveals are fun.
Yeah.
You know, as they reveal more secrets about it, it's
yeah, and they did a good job. That whole game is just really,
really good,
really polished.
Yeah. Is there any more that come to mind?
No, I mean, I have a feeling I'll think of a few more this week, so maybe we can just touch back on it because I think there's a lot to be said about this subject.
There's a couple more on the list, like Catherine. And
I haven't played Catherine.
I haven't really. I'm trying to think if I've even ever played it. I've seen quite a bit of it, so it makes me think I've maybe played it, but I don't remember any of the story.
Yeah.
I just remember kind of the grid board kind of play style.
Yeah, I never played it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any other that come to mind immediately, and I really don't think of any
This would be a fantastic, if you guys are listening, to write in. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic relationship, but like anything where you felt like love or intimacy was really displayed in a unique way, even if it's bad. Or I would love to hear your guys' thoughts, because I feel like there's probably a whole huge amount of stuff we're just not thinking about, either because we haven't played the games or just we're
I mean, this is kind of cheating, but in Castlevania, Dracula and whatever Alucard's mom's name is, I forget, and not because of the actual games, but because of the anime.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Like that's the anime.
That's what I mean. It's kind of cheating because really you see that develop. I mean, it is the story of like Symphony of the Night.
Yeah, which is cool. The anime is great,
but
although I'm a little pissed he never says miserable pile of secrets. But oh well.
Yeah.
But what is man?
What is man?
They should have put that in there. It would have been funny.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it would have been fun. It's weird. I mean, because the timeline doesn't fit.
Yeah, well, who cares? Like,
I know.
It would just be funny if he said it.
It would. Yeah. The castle should have turned upside down.
Just constantly. Yeah. That would be hilarious. They're like talking and it's super dramatic and Alucard, and then it's like, oh man, this is a terrible time for the castle to turn upside down.
Would be like, I'm going to go farm Medusa heads to get the Chrysogram sword. You'd be like, what, bro? Like,
wait, hold on. We're not done talking. Wait, dude.
I must go find the double jump stone. I will see you later.
You turned into a bat again. Damn it. You just missed it away. He always does that.
I can't keep doing these voices. They're killing my throat.
What's your favorite Castlevania game?
Symphony of the Night.
Yeah.
By far.
Symphony of the Night is incredible. But have we talked about this?
Don't you dare.
What?
Whatever you're about to say.
I'm not saying it's better, but I'm saying no one ever talks about how awesome this Castlevania game was. It annoys me because it was incredible.
Aria?
No. Order of Ecclesia on the DS.
That's the second DS one.
It's so good where he plays Shinoa. and you could like combine the glyphs and like you could have like screen filling powers. The story was interesting. The character design was awesome. It was beautiful. The music was great. It was like a incredible Castlevania game that no one ever talks about.
DS had Aria of Sorrow and then that one?
I think it was Portrait of Ruin was on the DS, wasn't it? I get them all confused. But Order of Ecclesia was DS.
Is that the one where you drew the runes with your...
I don't remember.
Where you'd like do a skill and it would show the rune?
I don't think so. I think that was the Portrait of Ruin because it was all about like paintings. But I could be wrong. Anyway.
The DS ones were very good.
Order of Ecclesia is so awesome. And I don't know why people don't talk about it. You should play it if you have a DS. It's awesome.
I think because it's hard to play those now.
It's not hard. It looks incredible.
No, I mean like not a lot of people
It's
have.
easier to play the Symphony of the Night. Oh, well, no, that's not true because Symphony of the Night is on every console.
Yeah, you could buy it on every console, and I could literally
that's true.
download it in 30 seconds.
Yeah, less than that.
Yeah,
Internet here is pretty fast.
24 seconds, maybe.
Do a speed run. Frame perfect download. 22.
Frame perfect download.
22 seconds. Boom. Beat that.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's
average
cool
games
game.
downloaded quick.
Yeah, I don't know. Castlevania has never been known for like nuance or romance, really.
No, not at all. But that's actually like my favorite game.
Ever?
Yeah.
That game is insanely amazing.
It's incredible.
It's incredible.
Especially for the like. You know, it's funny, like, especially for the time, like, how good looking that game was.
Yeah, it still looks good because it's 2D.
The music's so strong. Like,
music's amazing.
She's
good.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I wish they would remake that game, like, in a truly, like, really, like, redo the sprites and, like, really rebuild.
But keep it 2D.
Yeah, really rebuild
Make
the
it
game
HD, like, remake. Oh, that would be amazing.
That'd be so good.
Did you ever play, I remember this tripped me out. The PSP, they released a remake of Rondo of Blood in 3D. And you could unlock Symphony of the Night.
Really?
But you had to unlock it as a secret. So if you didn't know how to do that, you had to like beat the game a certain way and then unlock a certain stone. It was super easy to miss.
Really? That's funny.
And it was so funny because I unlocked it. I'm like, are you kidding me? You hid one of the best games ever made, like as a bonus to your barely okay 3D remake. Like, what do you mean? This was before there was any other way to play it on a portable console. And I was like, how can you that's a ballsy move to be gotta play through our okay remake before you can access the best game ever.
Best game ever,
One of them, yeah.
I mean, people do like Rondo, but I don't.
No, it's cool. It wasn't bad. Even the remake was fine, but it was like, guess what? I did not buy Rondo of Blood remake so that I could unlock Castlevania. You should have done the opposite.
Yeah.
Or just had them both available.
So I didn't think of any other, like, love stories.
Could you think of any bad ones?
What, love stories?
Yeah, just like, what's an example of one done really poorly?
A poor in-game love story. I mean, any fighting game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they always seem to tie in some romance.
Yeah, they really want to push it, don't
they?
Yeah,
like, Tekken's got, like, Heihachi and I can't remember what Jin's mom's name is.
Yeah.
He literally, like...
Which is a great example.
He just murders her and everyone. And I actually like using her a lot, but... You know, she becomes a demon too, and it's like, oh god,
naturally.
Yeah, fighting games always have terrible romances. Yeah. You know, I think a lot of them are just written very poorly. It's very tropey usually. It's hard to find. I mean, I will say this: I think we've really kind of undersold that. You know, indie games tend to write these types of things.
Yeah.
Way better.
And I'm not as familiar with that space as I'd like to be, and that's why I love. You know, if people could think of great examples, I would be fascinated to play a game where people think, hey, this is presented in a very interesting, real way.
Yeah,
what about like Life is Strange?
That's what I mean. Like, I don't play those. Like, I don't really like walking simulators.
Yeah,
which is the kind of a condescending way to refer to those games.
It is,
but
it's more like a choose your own adventure.
Yeah, but I've never really liked those kinds of games.
Here.
So I don't know. I mean, you know, it's funny. I watched someone play the new. Is it a new Life is Strange that came out?
Yeah, there's episode 2 just came out.
So. You know, it's funny because it's not even really part of the game, but like in the beginning, there's the older brother has this like friend girl. It's not his girlfriend. They're like mutual friends, and their relationship I actually thought was like really great.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, see, that's cool.
Because it wasn't like I really like these that we can get past the fact that every male and female in media needs to be like driven by their genitals.
Yeah,
I get it. I was 17 once and like
sure. But there's plenty of that, and there will be. We're not saying abolish it, but god damn, it'd be nice to have something a little more complex once in a while.
Yeah, just like, a little more nuance to the human experience, right? You know, it's like not everyone's getting friend zoned. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, So it's nice that that's becoming more mainstream, or at least more acceptable. I think, like I said before, Spider-Man did a really good job.
Yeah,
of that.
I can't wait to see that, man. I'm really excited.
I'm trying to think of other games I've played that have good or bad romances, but like I think video games as a medium have had a hard time
with subtlety,
with maturity.
Yep.
They do maturity so poorly. I think that's the most immature games are rated M.
Yeah, oftentimes.
You know what I mean?
It's that classic pitfall of if it's for adults, it's got to have more blood and guts. And that's not to say blood and guts can't be adult or complex, but there's often that mistake of oh, you want adult? What if his head came off twice?
Yeah,
which is fun. Yeah. That's fun too. But I just like to have options.
When maturity means tits and gore, it's kind of hard to have true maturity.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's a very adolescent view of maturity.
Which is why it'd be cool to have a game that has tits and gore and a fascinating story. There's no reason you can't have it all, man.
Yeah.
There's movies that do it.
Yeah.
Can't think of one off the top of my head, but I'm sure they exist.
What? Movies
that has tits, gore, blood, and an awesome, mature, interesting storyline that makes you think.
Maybe.
Sure, it can be done.
I mean, I think Tarantino movies are pretty interesting, and they tend to be pretty gory.
Yeah.
I really like Kill Bill.
I don't like Kill Bill.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you not a Tarantino fan?
Nah. We shouldn't get into this right now.
No, this is a bad place to. This is not a movie podcast.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And it'd be easy to go off.
I'm not going to try and convince you to like it.
Yeah.
What I will say is, because it's a Valentine's Day episode, if you are listening, thinking about your Valentine, play some games with your Valentine.
That is a very fun way to spend time with someone you love. Find a game you both like, or even that they like and you don't like.
Don't play Overcooked, though.
No, I mean, you can. That's what you want to play. Why not?
Because you might, murder each other.
Don't play Mario Party 3.
Don't play Mario. Yeah, don't play Mario Party. But I think gaming's a good way to kind of
totally. And it's also nice if you live far away from someone.
Mm-hmm.
It's an easy way to connect. You can just pop on a headset. It doesn't always have to be competitive. Co-op games, I think, are really underrated and are a really cool way to feel like you're close with someone.
Yeah, for sure. And I think especially even games like Apex and stuff that's coming out. Voice chat and all this stuff. It's so fun to be able to. I mean, some of my best friends now are people that I just spent time hanging with in games,
Yeah, you just talk about what's going on.
Yeah, it's such a good way to kind of build rapport.
It really is.
Talk, but yeah, I think that's kind of what I got for this one. Leo, do you want to tell us what you're doing this week? I know, we're recording early.
Yeah.
Can you talk about it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, we're recording early. Normally we record on Thursday and publish on Friday. Today is Tuesday.
Yeah.
I'll probably publish this tomorrow night on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Leo, why are we doing this?
So I'm going to the great nation of Canada.
Oh, Canada.
Do you know more than that?
Or something.
No. Okay.
That's how far. Land.
That's how far most people get. I mean, I can't sing it either. I should probably learn, though. So I'm going for the Siege World Championship in Montreal.
Rainbow Six Siege?
That's correct. Ubisoft Montreal is throwing, they did this last year, but it's bigger now than ever. They're throwing the huge world event with all the teams. It's like a huge tournament with $1 million prize pool, and it's in a big hockey arena. I assume they're going to remove the ice, although maybe not.
That's Canada, bro. That's what they do.
Desks,
everything's on ice. They do everything on ice.
My DPI on my mouse is good, but this desk will not stop sliding. But anyway, so I'm going there to cover it for several days. So I'll be gone. I leave at 4 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Jeez.
Yeah, so I should probably get going pretty soon.
Yeah.
And I'll be there until Monday. And I'm hoping to get a shout out to you guys in the stream if I can, since is it still Siege Month for you guys?
Friday we should be back on it.
Well, that's perfect. So I'm going to try and send it to you on Friday.
Yeah, tomorrow we're going to be doing our teching around, as we call it.
Yeah, which is great. I highly recommend it.
Stuff.
I will. Friday is actually the first day of the actual event. Thursday we're going on a tour.
Ooh.
It's gonna be fun. We'll have a lot of good content on Game Crate. I will be writing most of that, and then we're also bringing a video guy so we can get some really good photos and videos. And next week we can really dive into what happened and how it was. But
yeah, I'm excited to talk about it.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
I'm excited to hear more. I'm pumped up. I love Siege.
You're just excited that I'm not going to be here for a week, so you don't have to see me.
Man, that's not true. I do a podcast with you. I could have not done a podcast
I guess
with you.
That's a fair point. It would have been just as easy to not see me as much.
Yeah, but it's cool. Yeah, everyone knows I love Siege.
Siege is great, and I love it too. I'm not, as I've said before, I'm not good at playing it, but I actually love the game and watching the game. I prefer, it's a game which is rare for me. It's a game I vastly prefer people who are good at it.
It's so fun to watch.
It is for me to play because I just suck and I die, but I love it, and it's fascinating. And we've talked about this before, but I had this conversation earlier with a coworker who was like, "It just looks like CS:GO," and I'm like, "It's not. I know there's guns.
How dare
and
you?
Operators and like they're wearing masks, but it is such a unique game. It's like no other game out there, and it's all about sight lines, and it's all about it's like crazy ass chests.
Yeah, it's
cool.
very different. There's so much going on. Like that's the thing too. Like it's one of those games where it's like I wish everyone could play like an hour.
Yeah, just to understand.
Just to
Even
understand.
If you don't like it, at least understand the damn thing.
Just to have a little bit of an idea of what's going on, because then when you watch it, it makes so much more sense when you see people like breaking through these little sight lines that are like peepholes all the way across the map. Like the amount of knowledge and foresight to kind of, and the amount of thinking involved and being
on
like
your feet because you're constantly reacting to other people.
To being like, we found the bomb here.
Yeah, these
are the operators they have.
Yeah.
This person probably put their device here. Yeah. So if I look, if I know the layout of this map, and if I blow a hole in the floor here, I can probably see.
Yeah. And then if I drop this breach charge here, then and the way the meta changes all the time because they release new operators all the time. Like I haven't been there for a year. They released like 6 operators since the last time I was there. So I'm like, damn, I got to get back in it before the big event. But yeah, stay tuned at Game Crate and. We'll talk more about it when I get back. I'm excited.
Yeah, a lot of people probably don't know you write for Game Crate.
Yeah, so I'm one of the writers and senior writers and editors for GameCrate.com, which is, it's a pretty fun gaming website. We do all the good stuff.
It's a pretty fun one.
Yeah, it's like full service. We do all kinds of cool stuff. We do reviews. We do, tips, a lot of tip guides. I wrote one for Resident Evil 2, which actually did very well over the weekend. Got second place in Google.
Ooh.
But anyway, yeah, it's fun. Check it out.
SEO, bro.
It's all about that SEO.
That SEO going down.
We need an operator. We need that SEO operator.
Yeah. All right. Well, cool. I guess that's it for right now. If you guys want to reach out to us, techyeahpodcast@gmail.com.
Absolutely. We'd love to hear from you as always.
TechYeah on Twitter and TechYeah Podcast on Twitter and TechYeah Podcast on Facebook.
Yeah. And tell us what you think about video game characters and love, and yeah, we'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Or like really lusty ones is okay.
Sure. Hey, whatever you want. Doesn't have to be about love. We just love to hear from you.
Yeah. And if you want to find any of us, we're on there. You can find us through the Twitter. And
happy Valentine's Day, everyone.
And happy Valentine's Day.
Thanks for spending time with us.
To our lovely babies out there.
Yeah. Enjoy your week. We'll talk to you next week.
Yeah. Thank you guys. We're out. Bye.